Uh, Good morning, guys. It's 11 o'clock. I'll just start my session. So I'll just introduce myself. My name is Rahul Raj, and I am currently working as a BIM coordinator at Bimlabs Engineer Services and Private Limited. And due to this pandemic and this lockdown, we are launching this series. It's a recurring one, and we are launching some topics on BIM, and we'll be having these webinars, and also an associated courses will be there. We already running an architectural BIM course of fourth batch is there. It's going on in the evening. Okay, so I'll be sharing some information about that and also the workflow that will be included in this architectural BIM. Okay, so the main topic, architectural BIM. So there are two words, right? Architecture is there and also BIM is there, and those and I'll explain that process, like what is BIM, and after that I will associate that process with the architectural workflow. So for every firm there will be an architectural firm, there will be a workflow, like we will be had to design conceptual, and from that we had to push the model to detailed one, and after that we had to go for construction documentation set, and if any renovation comes we have to go through the same process, and re- uh, all the things that we will be going, even in the execution stage, what will be the process, what will be the role of the stakeholder, like architects. So I'll be explaining about that. Okay, so hope you can hear me. If you have any doubts on the session, you can just post it over there in the chat session. I'll be uh, clearing over there after the uh, last session. Okay, and yeah, so just start it. So I'll just briefly explain about how this BIM technology was introduced to the AC industry. Okay, so we had these problems. Okay, it's since we are in the AC industry, we know that these problems are recurring out there in the site or there in our field. Poorly coordinated designs and document. That means when we are preparing a construction document sets or the design for a project, there will be multiple disciplines. Architects will be there, civil engineers will be there, structural engineers are there, especially MEP engineers are there. So all these disciplines, they will be producing these different designs or different documentation sets, right? But and when we are going to the execution stage, these designs or documentation has to be properly coordinated. Okay, so there has to be a platform like for coordinating all those things. But uh, there is a problem, like if there is poor coordination in the designs, it will be leading to rework over there in the site. Clashes will be there. So that's one of the problem. Change orders and revisions and reworks, and due to this lack of coordination, we will be getting these change orders, revisions, and updating of these revisions and rework. It will be taking a lot of time. That will lead to delays, cost overruns, all those things. And communication, proper communication will be there. I'm not going to disclose my. I used to work over there in a special smart city project, and there I experienced this thing. This communication between different teams were less over there, and due to that, we had to go for different reworks. Okay, so and now they implemented BIM, and after it's fine over there. And design team, less coordination, it will be resulting in the poor quality of work. And you know that about 30% of the total materials accounted for a project will be going through the wastage. And how this is happening, because maybe because of the manual error caused by quantity estimation or something like that. We are just calculating the quantities from our model. It is not model based. Okay, if for a large project, maybe errors could be there, and the wastage of materials will be there. Energy consumption is actually an important thing, because you know that for a commercial project, it is mandatory that you need to have a green building certificate, or we have to check the energy efficiency. Okay, and in the prior stage, in the design stage itself, we need to perform some certain analysis, so that the energy consumption for that particular will be building will be less. We had to compare that with the ASHRAE standards, and depending upon that, we need to check how much energy or how much EUA value or annual utility cost value will be there if I design the building in a particular site in this way. So check should be there, and it should be maintained in the design stage itself, like the energy consumption should be less. And important thing, when we are arriving at the final design stage after creating the construction documentation, we need to push the documents to the site for the execution, and there should be proper site management. Okay, proper tracking should be there, right? If I'm executing my project over there in the site, uh, a PMC team will be there, and we need to track like what is the progress over there. I'll be actually planning something and what's actually happening over there on the site. I can compare it. We need to have a proper management of time and cost and resources, and yeah, whatever that is associated with project management. An important one, facility management data. After handing over the project, the facility manager will be responsible for all the operation and maintenance over there. So the facility manager should be accessible with all the informations or about the equipments or maybe installations or whatever that is associated with the facility management, and he's responsible for that. The asset data that is included in the project should be easily accessible in a standardized format. Okay, if it is not there, the operation maintenance cost will be much more. So these are some of the problems in our construction industry. So, taking account of these problems, back in 2011 or something, developed countries like UK and Singapore, they adopted this process called building information modeling. Okay, if you type in over there in the Wikipedia, you will be getting a large paragraph for the definition of BIM. So this is a simplified one. Okay, so it's a process. So one thing you have to remember is that BIM is not a software. Building information modeling, it is not a software, it is actually a process. Okay, it is a process involving the generation and management of digital representation of physical and functional characteristics. So a process is there, generation and management. Okay, we will be generating something, we'll be managing something. So what will be generating? We'll be generating digital representations. Okay, that means and of what? Physical and functional characteristics. So for a building, we know that physical characteristics is there, like the building envelope. What is the height? What is the width? And whatever that is accounting for the physical characteristics. The selection of materials and the values for that, and also functional characteristics. That means it is pointing towards that MAP functions, like HVAC, how much heating load is there, cooling load is there, and also what are the HVAC installation, plumbing, electrical, all those things will be coming under functional characteristics. Okay, it's simple as that. Okay, we'll be generating and we will be also pushing this model that created digital representation to the AC professionals for to plan, construct, and manage. Okay, we will be having something in our hand, and with respect to that, we will be working on that particular model. We will be fetching informations. So all the informations regarding that building, it should be over there. Okay, and the process for creating that particular model will be called as BIM. It's not only that, it's not only generation of digital representation, management is also there. Okay, after getting this digital model within my hand, I'll be taking this model over to the site also. The project management team, they will be having access. Facility manager will be having an access. Site engineers, who are associated with that project, they all will be having that access. Okay, so that process is called building information modeling. Okay, so this is a simple explanation, and you can see on the screen some of the countries who adopted BIM as mandatory. Still, India is lacking that, but yeah, UK, they by 2016 they made BIM obligatory for public funded project. Uh, BIM is made obligatory or mandatory for all the government projects. In Singapore, they made BIM mandatory for all the buildings that will be having a square meter area of more than 5,000 square feet. Okay, like that, developed countries are making it mandatory because of the benefits they are gaining. Okay, so I'll be briefly explaining about how we can implement BIM in our firms also. If you are part of a BIM or if you are doing any freelance work, I'll be explaining briefly about how we can adopt the BIM in our workflow. Okay, it won't be like a sudden process. It will be like a research study. Okay, so I will just leave that portion for the BIM implementation part coming over there in the slides. So this is the condition. This is the condition at a global level. So we need to check where is India. Actually, we are on the phase to adopting BIM. Okay, I used to work over there in L&D, and they have their own BIM firm over there, BIM Academy. They are implementing BIM over there in some of their project in L&D. Okay, and what they are getting is that they are getting ROI returns, like that ROI is increased, and also they are getting more management time. They are properly managing it. Efficiency gain is more. Working hour became less, and the project is completing timely. The budget overrun is very less. Like that, they are getting many benefits from that. Okay, it's not like they had to implement all the stages. So I'll be explaining about the stages also. And yeah, we need to check what stages of BIM will be having a benefit on my project, on my workflow. You need to think like that. Okay, so if you type it BIM over there in the Google, you will be getting this picture. It's definite thing. It's a cycle actually. Okay, so you can see on the screen, 3 stages are there. Design stage is there, build stage is there, and operate stage is there. And the main 3 stages are these one: design, build, and operate. Okay, and under that you can see conceptual design, detailed design, analysis, documentation, all these things. So this is a BIM life cycle. Okay, BIM life cycle is this. You can also relate this one to a project life cycle also. How it is related. So in the design stage, so for any project, there will be a client, and he will be having certain requirements, and with these requirements he will be approaching an architect. Okay, usually for a commercial project, the conceptual design, it will be developed by an architect, right? So he will be the first responsible person, and you can see 2 stages are there in the design stage itself. Not three stages: programming, conceptual design, and detailed design. If you're an architect over there in our crowd, we know that you usually heard about the term called generative design or programming. If you are familiar with that Rhino Grasshopper workflow, you can relate. We'll be having a programming setup or a visual programming platform to program the build. Saha Hadid architects that there is a beautiful museum in on the form of a curve. She created, their firm created that using that logarithmic design or computational design. Okay, so either this design stage, it can happen from programming or conceptual design, depending upon the requirement from the client. An architect will be developing this conceptual design. Okay, and after that, this conceptual design, this design will be pushed or it will be taken account for creating other detailed designs. Like architectural detailed design will be there. It will be developed from the conceptual one, and structural detailed design will be there. Structural engineers, they will be taking an account of the strength and stability of a structure, and structural design will be provided. And after that, MEP guys are there. They'll be providing that mechanical, electrical, plumbing designs, and all those designs has to be coordinated in a single platform. Okay, before going into the documentation, we know that there is an operation called analysis. The first one will be structural analysis. After that, they will be finalizing the strength and stability, and if it is okay, we can perform some other analysis like energy analysis. Okay, so what if I have to check if I am providing or if I am proposing a building in this particular location, I have to fetch the weather data, and depending upon that weather data, I have to tweak my building in such a way that the energy consumption for that building it will be less. I need to perform this analysis, energy analysis portions also. Several softwares are available in the industry for doing the same. Okay, so for that, even in the conceptual stage itself, I can perform operations. Like I can check the solar feasibility studies where I'll be getting more sun exposure. Usually, shading will be provided in such a way that winter sun has to be blocked. Summer sun has to be blocked. Right. Like that, I have to provide the shading shadow analysis. If I am providing a building over there in an urban area where I have a pack of buildings, I have to create, or I have to go for a shadow analysis. I have to check whether the other buildings is casting shadows over there on my buildings, and on that area maybe I can avoid that shading. I have to check. I have to create an yearly study so that I'll be able to get an idea. So on this area, if I provided my solar panels, I'll be able to produce more conventional energy, now conventional energy. So an analysis study will be there. So we are improving the performance of our building in this stage. And after that, one thing is over there that will be called as clash detection. So I said about different designs will be there. So before going for the preparation of construction documentation, all the clashes between these different disciplines should be resolved. For an example, I can say that if I have a structural beam and column section, if I am having a framed structure, I'll be having that column beam, vertical slab section will be there. And the MEP gas, they will be providing this HVC duct piping or plumbing piping, etc. So whenever there is an interference between these disciplines or structural members and also these MEP members, I had to resolve that over there in the design stage itself. What's the benefit for that? So when I'm creating my construction documentation for that to build over there on the site, I'll be getting these less errors. So we will be inputting more time over there at the design stage, so that I'll be creating a zero error model, and from that zero error model, I'll be going for the documentation part. In turn, we will be having less rework, we will be having less delay. Like that, we'll be getting some more efficiency gain. Okay, after creating this, we are having several softwares. Okay, for that, we'll be having platforms like Navisos, Autodesk, Navisos, and even in the we are using Autodesk Revit software for that. From that itself, we'll be getting some data or results for this interference. And after that comes the fabrication part. So for the fabrication, you know that you need to provide accurate information to the fabricators over there in the execution side. So those information should be there. So the main term in this building information modeling will be information. We are not just making a 3D model. We are not just making a representation of the model. That model will be having all the informations about all the things that is associated with that project. Even if I select a simple door, how it is fabricated, what are the materials that is associated with it, what is the dimensions, I can fetch the data from the model itself. I am creating an as-built model before it is being constructed over there in the site. And all these informations will be available within 2 clicks or 3 clicks. Okay, and knowing these possibilities, several companies are there uploading their BIM data over there into the site. So you can just Google it. You can just type in BIM family download or BIM component download. You can see a vast list of things. Okay, and after comes certain terms, certain dimensional properties for BIM is there. That will be construction 4D, 5D, 6D is there. Construction 4D means that project it is relating to the management. Okay, 4D means time management of construction, and 5D means the cost management. So in case of BIM, since all the model it is having all the informations, we can create an estimate or we can take the quantity based on the model itself. We are not just going for that long wall, short wall method. We are not going for that manual method. Whenever we are creating a model in the BIM platform, a model based quantity will be there. We will be able to quantify everything depending upon the categories that we are provided. It's very easy. And we can divide that into different stages itself, different phases. If I am going for a demolition or a renovation project, and it will be categorized into that one also, different phases. There are a lot of applications for a platform. Okay, I'll be briefly explaining about a particular platform called Autodesk Revit. Okay, I'll be showing you some yeah, I'll be showing you the software also. So okay, and after comes the construction logistics. A simple example where I had to put my crane so that I'll be having maximum area coverage in my site. Simulations are there. Several simulation studies can be done before going for the construction of the other site. So, and if I put my crane over in this area, I'll be able to cover maximum construction logistics. And after comes the operation and maintenance. Facility manager, he has an important role, and for this operation and maintenance, he need to know about the information, or he need to know about where the appliances are there. For an example, if I can say that if there is a HVC unit or a chiller unit in my commercial building, the facility manager, if anything happens to that unit, the facility manager should always know that whom to contact, what is the manual, how it should be operated, who's the responsible person, where I can access that. All those information should be available with the facility manager, so that a smooth operation maintenance process will be there. So this is a cycle actually. If the renovation comes, you have to go for the same operations or same cycle. So this is actually BIM. Okay, so it's not just a software. For performing these operations, several softwares are available over there in the industry. Lot of softwares are there. Okay, so BIM is, it's not just a software, it's a process, and it can be related to the process of a project also, a infrastructure or a structural project. We can relate that one. Okay, and this cycle will be continuing till our building demolishes. So that will be the end of the cycle. Yeah, and I told you about several dimensions are there associated with this BIM. 3D means 3D shape, 4D means 4D scheduling, that will be the time integration. 5D means estimation of a project, cost estimation. 6D, an important one, sustainability studies. And 7D means facility management application. So this is the dimensions. Yeah, so this is an important slide actually, what all those dimensions relate to. You can see 6D means sustainability. At a conceptual level also, we will be performing energy analysis. And yeah, and for the detailed energy analysis, we will be pushing the model to some BIM platform is there, and I'll be showing you an example of Autodesk Revit, how we can do that. And also lead tracking, lead certification will be there. And you know that before you know that the certification is mandatory, and before that we need to check that energy efficiency. And here in the BIM workflow, we will be having that platform to check the energy efficiency also. Okay. So these are the some of the dimensions that is associated with a BIM workflow. And one important thing, okay, even if you are an architect or any engineers or any designer that is also associated with the project, this is an important thing. LOD. LOD means level of development. If you are familiar with the CAD development or CAD drawing, you know that we'll be having certain detailing process over there in my designs. No? Just like that, in BIM, there is a concept called LOD. That means how we are designing, how we are detailing or developing the model. Okay, LOD 100 is there. And if you are taking a project, outsourced project, if you are going to complete a project over there in the BIM workflow, your client or whoever is giving you the project scope, he will be specifying this LOD also. At what stage I have to design this thing? LOD 100 means we just have to create a conceptual design. There is not much into that. We just have to create the 3D representation. That's it. LOD 200 means we'll be getting a schematic design. Okay, 300 means detailed design will be there, and it will be developing based on the previous stages also. Okay, we'll be adding more details into LOD 400 to make it LOD 200. So it's just like an evolved process. LOD 400, if I am going to model something in like LOD 400, we'll be having that accountability of specific assemblies. We can just push the data to the fabricators for fabricating everything. Okay, several components are associated with the BIM workflow. All the things that we model over there in the BIM platform or BIM, so it's a BIM modeling software is there. It will be having a certain specification. We can detail it more. We can add more details onto that. So it will be differentiated in terms of LODs also. LOD 500 means as built. After making all the necessary changes in the site, we'll be modeling that, and this LOD 500 will be accessible by the facility manager. Okay, there's a picture. So this is a simple picture showing that differentiation in the LOD. You can see for LOD 100, you need to have this much conceptual type design. After that, we will be developing something over there in the design development for LOD 200. And by reaching to LOD 500, it will be having all the changes and all the designs associated with that particular project. So this is an important term, okay, LOD. And yeah, so this is a basic idea about what BIM is. Okay, so now you get the idea, like BIM is not just a 3D representation. It's not a software. It is associated with the workflow. So now I am going to specify how architects or civil engineers can associate it with this workflow. Okay, architectural BIM. What are the stages or what are the processes in which we can involve in the process? Okay, yeah. So when we are adopting a BIM workflow, we'll be having that transition from the CAD to BIM, or that 2D to 3D. So the initial stage will be that, right? That design stage. So when a client approaches me, depending upon his requirement, I need to provide a design. Okay, and I need to improve the performance of the designs also. Okay, with a CAD drawing, I won't be able to perform this in performance. I won't be able to check whether it is currently performing in a particular site. Okay, so by adopting the BIM for architecture, we can make more design decisions. We can tweak our build. It's just like adding that modifications to a photo. Okay, even if I get a selfie, maybe I will be performing some tweaks over there so that it will be better looking. Just like that, we'll be having an options, like design options will be there, and we can utilize the power of computer AI for making this design options. Okay, and after that, I can present that to the client so that an optimized decision or an optimized design will be selected for the execution. The first stage will be conceptual design. So that will be the first stage of the BIM workflow itself. How we can develop that concept. Okay, so a client will be having a site, and on site we will be having certain weather data, and depending upon that weather data, we can perform a conceptual level energy analysis. We have to design something over there in the conceptual design development. Okay, usually the workflow is that the principal architects over there in the firm, if they are into the design, he'll be sketching something over there in the platform or a paper, and that design will be pushed over to the junior architects, or like I say, in the BIM workflow, we'll be calling us junior BIM modelers, and it will be pushing to them for further detailed designs. Okay, so in case of conceptual design development, since we are Autodesk partners, okay, Autodesk partners, I'll be talking about some of the softwares which Autodesk is providing for the development. or for this associating with this workflow. Okay, we can create several design options at the conceptual design itself, so that when I present it to the client, um, uh, he can vary between, or he can have a choosing option. So if I choose this one, so it will be better like that. So how I will be creating this conceptual design development? So there is an option called Autodesk Form 360. So I'll be relating this presentation with respect to the course. One of the courses is there, Architecture BIM is there. Currently, I am taking the 4th batch for that. So for the conceptual development, we'll be using a cloud platform called Autodesk Form 360. Now that I think for almost you guys, you will be familiar with SketchUp. Like that, Autodesk, they are providing this Form 360. It's actually free. Okay, this cloud platform, it is actually free, and the main thing is that we can just create, or we can model concepts over there in our Form 360, and we can take that model and we can link that with another BIM platform, or BIM, a detailed BIM modeling platform. That's one of the main characteristics in this Form 360. It's actually free. That's the main thing. We can just export this model to several formats, so that it is accessible by another softwares. Okay, so Form 360 is there. So you can see if you have an iPad, or if you have a computer, you'll be able to sketch the things, and we will be sketching it by 3D. It's very easy. The workflow is very easy. We are having only that basic basic modeling techniques, basic sketching techniques, and from that we can develop these models, and we can detail it more also. Okay, using a StumpPad, it's very easy. We can apply materials. We can import several components from the library. The Form, they are providing a lot of components also to represent it. So if you want to have an initial representation to the client, you can just use this Form 360. And when you want to detail it more, when you have to specify that materials, when we have to convert this one to a BIM model that will be having a lot of information, we have to export this same thing to a format. A XML format is there, and you can use several add-ins to import the same thing to the detailed design platform. But and also we can use energy at a conceptual level. We can perform some materials. We can only propose that. Okay, it won't be adopting the material properties, but we can propose certain materials on the faces, and depending upon that, we can perform a initial level energy analysis, and also monthly glazing study, yearly solar panel feasibility study. Here you can see on the screen, uh, if this is a conceptual design, I'll be able to perform a monthly glazing study at a monthly level. What will be the glazing? What will be the sun exposure or solar ray exposure on a surface? And depending on that, I'll be able to provide the shading. Usually, this monthly glazing study, it will be provided for shading purposes. How I can provide the shading, and also yearly solar panel feasibility study is there. I'll be getting that yearly value, yearly sun exposure value, and it will be provided with the graph, and it will be showing how much, what is the EUI. I'll be getting that energy retained. What will be the value of energy retained? It will be represented in kilowatt hour per square meter over a surface. So here I'll be getting an idea. So if I provide my solar panels over there in this area, I'll be getting maximum return as conventional energy. So what if I want to rotate my building? If I have a selection of site, last area of site, maybe if I can provide a little rotation, so that it will be getting more over there. So at a conceptual level itself, you can go for this preliminary studies, shading studies, and also yearly solar panel feasibility study. And it is not limited to this one. You can use, you can link several generative design options or visual programming software, so that we'll be getting several design options also. Okay, so this is about conceptual design. So the first part is okay over there, conceptual design, and after that we will be pushing this model to detailed design. So Autodesk Revit is there. Okay. Several softwares are available in the industry. Okay. So Bentley, they developed EcoSync. I think Graphisoft, they developed ArchiCAD. All these softwares are available in the industry for BIM modeling. So in BIM modeling, it is not just confined to as the different disciplines will be there. So in all these BIM platform, all the stakeholders can made model their own things. And all these softwares, they are providing options to model architectural, structural, MEP designs, etc. I'll be showing you that Revit, a simple interface of the Revit, so you'll be getting an idea. Okay, so we will be pushing that model that I created from the format at a conceptual level, and I'll be exporting this one to the that model to the Revit, so that I can further detail on to that one. So the first time collaboration is there, from conceptual to detailed design is there. So Autodesk Revit is, it's actually free. For the student version is there, you will be getting 3-year license. You just have to download that 3-year license. That won't be used for commercial purposes, but for the training, it is free, and the latest version 2021 is available. If you're interested, I can if you're going for course, maybe I can share you with all the documents of that. Yeah. So some of the, just like a BIM, since I said Autodesk Revit is a BIM software, it is associated with all these things like design development, and along with the designs, automatically our 3D will be created, and associated with that, the construction documentation set, it will automatically create it. And you know that by 2 or 3 clicks, when you are going for the further into the software, you will be getting all these possibilities how an architect can utilize the same thing. We'll be modeling custom things. All the components that is associated with the Revit platform, or a BIM platform, it will be having that information, and we need to apply, or we need to provide all these informations to all the components. How we can do that? How we can extract these informations? What all add-ins can be used? All those things are there. Okay, so one of the important thing in BIM is that. And as I said, all the components, it will be uh, having all these information properties. So if I select a wall, it won't be just a 3D representation. We can create a specific, like specifying the material, specifying the finishes, what will be the core boundary, what will be the core structure. Just like that, we can specify that. And all for these materials, if I select a symbol brick, it will be having that thermal coefficient value, what will be the energy avoided value, what will be the thermal resistance. All these value will be associated with that. Intent, what did we know? So when I'm pushing that model to the analysis, energy analysis, all these things will be taken into account. And we can geotag this one, the particular site, so that it will be fetching the weather data also. And it will be performing depending upon that. Sun and solar studies will be there. So I think I don't know if you are following that practice. Depending upon the sun and shadows analysis, we'll be providing that facade elements, and we can provide several smart building solutions. I'll be talking about one of the tower who adopted smart building solution after this presentation. Okay, so options are there. Once you develop something over there in the Revit or in a BIM platform, you can push that model to several analysis process. So for an architect, for a facade development, it will be very easy over there in the BIM platform. Since it is geotagged, it will be performing according to the weather data at a particular location. Okay. After comes the important part, because after the designs, it is mandatory that we need to prepare our construction documentation. Since I said we'll be inputting all the informations to the models over there, or the components over there in the Revit or in the BIM platform, it is very easy for developing our construction documentation also. Schedules and quantities and estimates, we can create it with 2 or 3 clicks. Once you develop the model, it's very easy to create that. I'll be getting the estimate. First, you need to adopt some standards. Okay, when you're going for the BIM implementation at your freelance level or at a firm level, you need to create some BIM standards. Several codes are there. Okay, several ISO codes are provided by the government, so that you can look upon that also. A simple thing I can say is that since if you are a part of a firm or a freelance, you'll be having a certain standards, like your identity will be there on the maybe on your drawings. Like a simple thing I can say is the north arrow, for a simple denotation of that elevation levels, or a section head. All those things are maybe your identities. Your custom, we can customize that. So the first part of BIM studied implementation will be customizing your these kind of standards over to your BIM platform. Okay, just like that, just like creating a block, we can create a custom component and we can use it on any project that we are completing. And here you can see this tagging. It is actually automatic. You can perform this tagging automatic. We just have to place the arrow over there, and depending upon that information will be provided, and we can select or we can customize in such a way that when I place the tag over there, these all informations associated with the model should be created over there. Okay. Custom tags will be there, and all these you can see all these documentation says in that uh, there are options for drafting also. Okay, usually in Revit, if we are modeling it at a low LOD level, if you want to push that model to the fabrication section also, we can go for drafting itself. We can import several 2D drawings to our Revit platform, so that the detailing will be more. So options are there. It's very easy. Okay. So once you decided your building, once you decide your detailed design and all, you will be getting there's a provision of energy efficient building also. So several platform is there, like Autodesk Insight. It's one of the platform with which you can go for a prelim or at initial level energy efficient study. It will be giving you the value, EUA value will be there, and also annual utility cost value will be there, depending upon the materials and all. Okay, excuse me. I think, sorry. Oh, hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, thank you. The current, my power went in between. That's why I just had to confirm. Okay, I'll just share the screen itself. Yeah, sorry for the trouble. Okay, my power went out and my Wi-Fi got off. I am now tethering from my phone. Sorry for the trouble. Yeah. So we were talking about this energy efficient building. So once I have my designs over there in my hand, we can push this model to several cloud platforms. So Autodesk is providing a cloud platform called Autodesk Insight, and yeah, on that they'll be providing at an initial level. They'll be providing this EI value, and also they'll be providing these design options also. The computer will be telling us, like, if you do this to your building, you'll be getting much more energy, much more less energy consumption. If you orient your building to this degree, you will be getting less energy consumption value. Like that, we can compare it. Or if you use this particular type of glass over there in your window on this face, you will be getting less energy consumption. Like that, we'll be getting that design options. So if I choose this one, okay, the building will be performing better. Like that, I can go for a better energy efficient building. the design, the facade calculation, all those things will be associated with. So yeah, so this is yeah, it's a screenshot from the Autodesk Revit. You can see accurate shadows for any time of year, and also we can create several studies. Sunpath studies will be there. We can use that. Okay. So this is the and I told you about that energy efficient insight, right? So this is the platform for the insight. Here you can see the this is a cloud platform, and you'll be able to see several graphics over there. And yeah, building orientation, window wall ratio, window shades. So actually they are providing several options to choose from, so that we can tweak our building in a better way. Here you can see a UA values there. Sorry, this is a utility cost. Yeah, $24.4 per meter square per year. It will be taken for our building. Here you can see model history is there. Initially it was 45, and I pushed that one to the 24, so that depending upon the options they given or design options are given, I take my building so that my EUA, my utility cost, it is reduced to 24. So this is actually insight, Autodesk insight. And also you know that, yeah, visualization, it's a part of your workflow. For architects, you need visualization. So in Revit, we are having these visualization properties. Like we can go for walkthroughs, and yeah, better softwares are there, like V-Ray, Lumia, and all those softwares are there. And actually, also those softwares are also part of BIM. So when it is visualization, actually have a less important over there in the BIM workflow. But yeah, you can use these softwares for creating better visualization. It's not mandatory that you use any particular type of product. You need to complete one task, and for that you can choose any softwares. That's it. So in case of Revit, several add-ins are there, and even in the Revit itself, you will be able to create these visualizations. Studies will be there, walkthroughs. We can go for that VR integration, virtual reality integration, and also we can create steric panoramas, like that 360 view diagrams for an interior. So options are there. And after comes a important part, and I told you about visual programming. No, like we can program our buildings, we can create different shapes, or and we can automate things. Okay, visual programming is there for creating several studies, for creating several smart building solutions. We can use this software for creating complex curves, complex building structures, for analyzing that complex structures with the feasibilities, and for creating several facades, and for manipulating the building data, for exporting the data to the Excel, to fetching the data from Excel to the modeling platform, driving our modeling with respect to the scripts that we are providing. But you need to have an idea about this one. Okay, Dynamo. There is an add-in over there, the Revit. It's not an add-in, it's actually a separate software. We can download the standalone version for the software itself for doing it. Yeah, so Dynamo BIM, it's actually open source. You can see on the background several all these things are possible with Dynamo. It's actually free from structures, and also this is yeah, analytical property. You can see we have to create several programs but for creating this program, you do not need to know about that programming language. Okay, it's not necessary. We just need to have an idea, that logical idea. So for getting this output, I need to perform this operation. That's it. That's the only logical idea that you need to have if you are going to familiarize this uh, visual programming software. So here you can see, I just there is a simple creation of a like a maybe what you can see, what's the shape? Yeah, it's just like an envelope of a stadium. Okay, and that stadium, you can see several colorization is there. What it is showing is that it is showing the areas with which it is getting a maximum sun exposure. That red portion, it will be showing where I'll be getting maximum sun exposure. Okay, several analysis can be done, several simulations can be done, several automations can be done. Repetitive task will be there in our workflow, right? Just like creating a sheet. If I have 100 sheet over there in my project, okay, with respect to an Excel sheet, I can just create that sheet, all the sheets, and with all the informations within seconds. It's very easy. You just have to create a script. Whatever that we will be creating in the Dynamo, it will be called as a script. We just have to create that and we have to run it. And automatically, all these 100 sheets or whatever be the number of the sheet, it will be created. So it's just an example of a repetitive task. You can automate things. So one of the functions of this visual programming. Yeah, here you can see after creating it, I just provided a facade element, not just a facade element. And depending upon that, some of the facade elements it is closed and some of the facade elements it is open. And it will be depending upon the sun exposure. Here you can see where I have provided this shadow values and all. And the only thing is that after creating this conceptual model, I can convert this one to the a final mode. Okay, actually this is a it's an image from the internet. Okay, so it's relating to this one. Actually, we can convert this one to a model like this one. You can see several facade elements and all these things are here. We can have a representation like this one also. Okay, so after that I'll be talking about a smart building solutions. So what they are providing. So we need to create several buildings that will be having smart building solution. One of the example is this Al Bahar Tower. It's actually situated over there in Abu Dhabi. It consists of 29-story and 145-meter high towers. And you can see a simple facade type thing is there. Okay, I'll just briefly explain about this one. This is actually photovoltaic cells. Okay, and you can see several things are open and several things are closed. Actually, it is automated by another system and another software that is situated in their HQ. Yeah, and it is performing depending upon the sunlight exposure. Wherever they are getting more sunlight and wherever they need to provide the shading, it will be automatically expanding or closing. And how they perform it, how we can represent this over there in my design, and we can use these BIM platforms. I told you about this parametric design. It is Dynamo. We can create this component. It was created over there in the Revit. It's just for the design purpose, okay, just for the representation. And we can automate the same thing over there in the platform at a project level, so that we can say that, so if I perform like this one, it will be adopting this much values. And when the sun path changes, so these are the areas with which we have to close the shading, and also where we have to provide the shading, where we have to open. You can just type in that Al Bahar Tower mechanism over there in your Google. You will be getting. It's very interesting to see that. Okay, so parametric components we can create. If I create a parametric components means we can create a component and we can control all the parameters or the dimension parameters, the identity data parameters, and the whole parameter means anything which describes the property of a component, and we'll be able to control it. Okay, so that's one thing, smart building solutions. So with the help of BIM, we'll be able to provide that one also. We'll be having several studies and we can propose. So yeah, actually this one is working as a facade element. Yeah, so I can propose that. So as an architect, so all these things will be important. No? Yeah, so this is about actually BIM for architects. So in architectural BIM, so architect will be having a role for developing the conceptual design and pushing that model to the detailed design, and how to create that simulations, energy analysis, and also we will be covering this programming thing, how to create these scripts and how to run that over there in my model and how to manipulate the building data. So we will be covering these four softwares. Currently in my batch, yeah, this is my fourth batch. So these are the modules that we'll be taking. Okay, and also, yeah, so this is a certification instruction for today's session. Okay. Okay, I think I hope you understand what are the softwares. So for the conceptual design, we'll be using Autodesk Format. For the detailed design, we'll be using Autodesk Revit. For energy analysis, we'll be using Autodesk Insight and also Dynamo for this visual programming. So we have a structure of 15 days sessions that I'll be having 2.5 hour of sessions. So we'll be covering all the softwares and I'll be giving you some assessments to complete all those things. Okay, so that's about the course studies. If you're interested, you can just mail me, or we'll be since you provided the mail over there, we'll be providing the course details also. And also for today's session, I like to say that today you will be having a online assessment. So a certification process is there actually for attending these online sessions. So we'll be having an online assessment also. So for all your emails, I'll be providing an online assessment so that from this session what you gain, I need to know that there will be a scoring system, and a certificate will be given and it will be having a price of 200 rupees for each session. That's it. Okay. So that's about certification for um, today's sessions. Okay. So after completing this online assessment, and you need to score minimum of 50%, and from that, and after scoring it, you need to pay 200 rupees for a certificate, and it will be provided as 1 day online workshop on today's session. That's today's session. That's it. So yeah. So that's about architectural BIM. Okay. So thank you. If you have any doubts from the session, you can just post it over here in the chat session. You can just speak up. You are free to do that. I'll be explaining it. Okay. So thank you. Thank you for your time also. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, one of the yeah, I got a good question. Okay, in architectural BIM, is there any section to study about landscaping? Yeah. Uh, in our course, I'll be sharing the course details also. So landscaping architecture is actually an important thing over there for you, right? Architect. So there is a section over there in our BIM only for this landscaping architecture. We'll be creating that contour. If you have any survey data, you can create your custom landscape also, and it will be quantifiable. You'll be getting that cut and fill options, and also you can create or manipulate that landscape. We can use several surveyor CAD drawings depending upon that contour. We can and we can create that exact landscape. Okay, so